Ozempic is becoming an AI stock. Yeah, that sentence sounds like it was written by a drunk algorithm. But stay with me, because this is one of the weirdest, most tradable theme shifts happening right now. A weight loss drug is quietly turning into a data and GPU arms race. And if you can see the full stack, you can trade the stack. How Ozempic became an AI trade and how to actually play it. Today, we are doing 3 things. 1. What Ozempic actually is, in English. 2. Why the weight loss boom is forcing pharma to buy AI like big tech. 3. The practical playbook. What to buy, what to avoid, and the exact red flags to watch so you do not get smoked by a headline. Let's go. First, the basics. Ozempic is the brand name for semaglutide, a drug in a class called GLP-1 receptor agonists. Translation? It mimics a hormone your body already uses to signal, "Hey brain, we're good. You can stop thinking about food for 5 seconds." GLP-1 drugs help with blood sugar, because they were built for type 2 diabetes first. But they also reduce appetite and slow digestion, which is why they became the biggest weight loss story in modern pharma. Quick brand decoder. Wegovy is semaglutide branded for weight loss. Mounjaro is Lilly's tirzepatide branded for diabetes. Zepbound is tirzepatide branded for weight loss. Same vibe, different label, different insurance headaches. Now here is the money angle. Obesity is not a niche problem. The US obesity rate is over 40%, which is the financial statement for a healthcare cost problem that never clocks out. So when a drug class shows real, meaningful weight loss, it does not just create a new product, it creates a new category. And categories compound. GLP-1, a new category, not just a new drug. Analysts forecast the GLP-1 market could top $100 billion by 2030. That is not just people chasing aesthetics. That is diabetes, obesity, and a long tail of downstream conditions. So the question becomes, who wins the category? If this was 2007, the answer was whoever shipped the best smartphone. Today, the answer is whoever builds the best ecosystem around the category. And in GLP-1 land, that ecosystem is quickly becoming AI. Your brain wants to file Ozempic in the healthcare folder. Wall Street is starting to file it in the platform folder. Here is why. What GLP-1 drugs created was not just a blockbuster. They created a giant, measurable, real-world experiment. Millions of people changing weight, appetite, biomarkers, cholesterol, blood pressure, sleep, and cravings over time, all with medical data attached. That data is unbelievably valuable because it helps you build the next generation of drugs faster. And speed in drug discovery has always been pharma's hardest problem. There is even a cruel nickname for this: Eroom's Law. It is Moore's Law spelled backwards, because instead of getting faster and cheaper over time, drug discovery has historically gotten slower and more expensive. Now add generative AI to the mix. AI is getting good at pattern matching in messy biology. It can propose molecules, simulate interactions, predict properties, and help researchers pick better candidates earlier. But it only works if you feed it 2 things. 1. Serious compute. 2. High-quality data. So when GLP-1 drugs exploded, the obesity market became the single biggest incentive in pharma to invest in both. That is why Ozempic is becoming an AI trade. Not because Ozempic itself is AI, because the next Ozempic will be. This is not a theory. Companies are telling you the strategy out loud. Example 1. Eli Lilly and NVIDIA announced a co-innovation AI lab with up to a $1 billion investment over 5 years aimed at using AI to accelerate drug discovery and manufacturing. built on NVIDIA's BioNeMo platform and next-gen Vera Rubin architecture. When a pharmaceutical company starts talking like a cloud provider, you pay attention. Example 2. In Denmark, a sovereign AI supercomputer called Geffion is now operational. It is an NVIDIA DGX superpod with 1528 H100 GPUs. Novo Nordisk is a customer, using it for drug discovery and healthcare innovation. The GLP-1 leaders are becoming major AI infrastructure customers, and that means this theme is not just buy the drug company. It is follow the compute, follow the data, follow the molecules. All right, let's map it. Think of this theme as a 3-layer stack. Layer 1, compute and lab automation. Layer 2, platforms, the software and data pipes that turn biology into something a model can learn from. Layer 3, molecules, the companies actually building the next generation of weight loss drugs, from oral pills to multi-agonists. Let's walk through each one. Layer 1 is the question: who sells the GPUs and the lab equipment? NVIDIA is the obvious answer. Modern AI drug discovery runs on GPUs. But it is not just chips. You also need the physical lab to connect to the models. That is why NVIDIA partnered with Thermo Fisher, a huge player in scientific instruments, to push toward AI-enabled, more autonomous laboratories. The labs become a data factory. The models get better. The models design better experiments. The lab runs them faster. That loop is the flywheel. Flywheel. Lab data, better models, better experiments, more lab data. Layer 2 is where it gets spicy. The most underappreciated moat in AI is not the model. It is the data you can legally and ethically train on. There are companies building GLP-1 specific data assets. Dandelion Health, for example, has a GLP-1 data library with data on over 210,000 people on GLP-1s, plus hundreds of thousands of matched controls, including imaging and clinical notes. That is the kind of dataset that lets you ask, who responds best? Who quits from side effects? What happens to liver fat, heart metrics, long-term outcomes? That is not just interesting, that is how you design the next drug. And then you have platforms like Schrödinger, which sells computational tools for drug discovery and is leaning into physics plus AI to predict molecules better. Think of it as the CAD software of drug design. Layer 3 is the part everyone talks about on CNBC, the actual drugs. But here is the catch. The market is shifting from weekly injections to daily pills. Because pills scale better, ship easier, and remove the needle tax on adoption. This is not hypothetical anymore. Novo Nordisk just got FDA approval for a once-daily Wegovy pill, the first oral GLP-1 for obesity in the US. The cash price for starting doses is closer to a couple $100 a month, not 1,000. But it comes with a morning ritual. Empty stomach, a few ounces of water, then you wait at least 30 minutes before food, coffee, or other pills. Eli Lilly's orforglipron is the other massive contender, a small molecule oral GLP-1. Lilly says it can be taken without food and water restrictions. It has already posted phase 3 results in obesity, and Lilly has been preparing manufacturing for a global launch. So the Ozempic trade is now also the pill trade. And the pill trade is where AI accelerates competition. Because small molecules are a more designable space than complex injectable peptides. Now beyond pills, there is an even more aggressive frontier. Multi-agonists. These are drugs that hit more than one target. Think of it like moving from a single-tool Swiss Army knife to the whole toolkit. Lilly's retatrutide, a triple agonist, has already reported phase 3 data showing huge weight loss, with more trials expected to finish in 2026. This matters because the best-in-class crown can change fast. If you want talk, the interesting names are not just the giants. They are the challengers using AI, new chemistry, or both to close the gap. 3 examples. 1. Structure Therapeutics. They are working on an oral small molecule GLP-1 called aleniglipron and reported 36-week data showing meaningful placebo-adjusted weight loss, with plans to move into phase 3 in mid-2026. 2. Recursion. A tech bio company trying to industrialize biology. They built BioHive 2, an NVIDIA DGX superpod with hundreds of H100 GPUs, because their whole pitch is, we generate huge datasets and train models on them. 3. Viking Therapeutics. Developing obesity candidates with phase 3 trials ongoing for an injectable, plus an oral program in the works. Quick reality check. These smaller names are not safe. They are volatile. They live and die on trial data, timelines, and funding. But that is why they move. So how do you actually trade this theme without turning your portfolio into a clinical trial roulette wheel? Here is a simple playbook. Step 1. Build a boring core. Step 2. Add a small, spicy satellite. Step 3. Tie your risk to catalysts. Step 4. Know the landmines. On one end, you have the incumbents, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. They have the products, the manufacturing, the distribution, and the scale. Lilly's GLP-1 franchise is already printing absurd revenue, and their 2026 guidance has Wall Street treating them less like a pharma company and more like a compounding machine. On the other end, you have the infrastructure, NVIDIA, and the lab automation ecosystem that benefits as pharma becomes a bigger AI customer. This is the I want the theme, not the lottery ticket version. The drug companies are buying the compute companies are selling platforms into pharma. You own both sides. Then, if you want upside, you build a small basket of challengers. Not one, a basket. Because any single molecule can fail, but the theme can still win. This is where names like structure, recursion, and Schrödinger show up. And if you do not want to pick individual stocks, there is an ETF built around this theme, the Roundhill GLP-1 and Weight Loss ETF, ticker OZEM. It is actively managed, and it is a packaged way to get exposure across GLP-1 leaders and adjacent plays. Core plus satellite, theme exposure without single stock risk. The key to trading biotech themes is anchoring to catalysts. Phase 2 and Phase 3 readouts, FDA decisions and label expansions, earnings calls where guidance changes, manufacturing capacity updates, big partnerships, especially with AI infrastructure vendors. Instead of doom-scrolling Twitter, you build a calendar. Because in this theme, the calendar is the chart. Now, what can blow this up? Number 1. Pricing and coverage shocks. If payers squeeze pricing or coverage rules change, demand can swing overnight. Number 2. Competition compressing margins. The moment pills scale, switching costs drop. That is great for patients, rough for incumbents. Number 3. Safety surprises. If a new pill has nasty side effects, discontinuation rates spike. Quality of weight loss matters too, like muscle preservation. Number 4. The compounding saga. When shortages exist, compounded versions pop up. When shortages are declared over, regulators crack down, lawsuits fly, and business models get stress tested. Number 5. Hype outrunning biology. Some AI drug discovery stocks have already lived through boom and bust cycles. If you pay a platform premium for a company that cannot deliver clinical results, the market will eventually remind you that biology is not software. And keep in mind, the FDA is still figuring out how AI-generated evidence should support drug approvals, which can change the rules mid-game. One more thing. Because this is weekly compounding and we like second-order thinking, if GLP-1 usage keeps rising, it changes consumer behavior. Surveys suggest some GLP-1 users snack less, and some report increased exercise. That creates potential headwinds for certain packaged food categories, and potential tailwinds for others. I am not saying short your favourite snack company into the ground. I am saying themes have ripples, and the smartest money often trades the ripples, not the obvious wave. So here is the takeaway. Ozempic is becoming an AI trade because the obesity boom is forcing pharma to behave like a data and compute business. The winners will not just have the best molecule, they will have the best discovery engine, the best data, the most scalable manufacturing, and the fastest feedback loop. If you want more videos like this, where we connect the dots between real products and real portfolios, hit subscribe and drop a comment with the ticker you think is the most underrated play in this whole GLP-1 plus AI stack. I will see you next week.